Hi, I'm Carrie Louise Daenell, naturopathic doctor and founder of the Live Well Center.
Dr. Daenell, what is a naturopathic doctor?
A naturopathic doctor is a licensed primary care physician that is also responsible for being an expert in the use of natural medicine and how the two worlds best work together, both safely and effectively. We do pre-medical study like any other doctor, and then we go off and get our doctorate in the subject of naturopathic medicine. Upon receiving our degree, we sit for 5 full 8-hour days of exams by the Department of Health of the state that licenses us, and then we are licensed as a primary care physician in those states. Now, there are 14 states, 2 territories, and Washington, D.C. that license our profession. Unfortunately, I practice in the state of Colorado, which does not license our profession, and so I work simply as a wellness consultant. So I always say I don't have the authority to do minor surgery, write prescriptions, or even do an exam the way a regular family doctor would, but I'm a consultant and just an interesting person. I always was interested in things natural and being healthy and diet and nutrition. I had the great fun of living in Boulder, Colorado while I was working on my pre-med studies at the University of Colorado, and someone introduced me to the field. And I thought, well, that can't be real because I've never heard of it. But if it were, that would be exactly what I would have made up in my head for a profession. And when I looked into it and I went and toured the on-campus schools where you can get a 4 to 5 year doctorate after you've done your pre-medical studies, I was convinced that while it was small, it was actually a legitimate field. So I went ahead and pursued the studies, got my license, which is 5 8-hour days of exams by the Department of Health, became licensed as a primary care physician in the state of Washington as a naturopathic doctor with prescriptive authority, the ability to do minor surgery, and all aspects of family medicine, but also held accountable to be an expert level in nutrition, in homeopathy, in the use of nutritional supplements, etc., and how the two worlds combine safely. And what that helped me do was become a very integrative, friendly doctor. And so I have a lot of really good, strong relationships with medical doctors in the city of Denver that share patients with me, and so we can communicate on those patients' behalf. I can speak their language, and they know that I actually went to school to do what I do. You know, I was actually already on my way to becoming a naturopathic doctor, and my health was already failing, but it failed even more under the stress of medical school, because no matter how naturopathic the topics are, there's nothing natural about doing that much school in that short of time. Medical school is just difficult. And so I spent 10 years of my life with chronic degenerative illness, including chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, 2 autoimmune diseases, Graves' disease, which is a hyperthyroid autoimmune disease, and crippling rheumatoid arthritis. On top of that, I had intractable eczema, where I would have to pack my eyes in ice in the morning to get them open because they were so swollen. And actually, people would wince when they looked at me and ask me if I was contagious. That is no fun way to walk through the world. And so, you know, I was dedicated and committed, and I did everything anyone ever tried to tell me to do and could not find the answer to my health issues. I was young, and it didn't make any sense to me that I was that broken, and I wondered what would happen to me. Fortunately, I did happen to be already in naturopathic school, so I was exposed to the science behind the protocol that I do for total digestive repair so that I could rebuild my gut, which actually ended up rebuilding my immune system, making it normal, and rebuilding my health. I've been bouncing off the walls healthy for 15 years now, and the work that I did then is just a memory. I don't continue to do that work. I completely restored my health, and I went on with my life. The Carrie then was not only hard to look at, but hard to be around. I couldn't eat anything. I was wheat-free, dairy-free, gluten-free, citrus-free, soy-free, peanut-free. Everybody's annoyed when you can't eat things. It's funny how that is, but they take it personally. And so I felt like I couldn't join in the reindeer games, so to speak. Socially, nobody really wanted me around, and I wasn't much fun to hang out with. I was exhausted, and I complained all the time. And, you know, doctors weren't really happy to see me either. I made them feel like a failure. I would come in, I was obviously sick and complaining, but they had nothing to offer, or nothing that they had to offer worked for me. And so then it was back on me, it was all in my head. Now, I'm a type A, driven person who just wants to save the world before I die. I am not someone looking for an excuse to get out of this life. And so it hurt my feelings to not be taken seriously. And at the same time, What could they do? They didn't know, and they didn't have anything to offer. And so it's hard to be that person in a lot more ways than just the physical suffering. And so it's easy for me to sit with those people. I exactly know what they're talking about. I know what it feels like to be them, and I believe them. And I know that while I'm sure it's hard on your head and your mood to be that sick and broken, it's truly in their body, and if you can help their body heal itself, everything else will heal from there.